This is the Iowa Weather Report for Friday, September 11th, 2015, and now our first look at the 0Z GFS Model Run at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Big trough digging in across the Great Lakes and into the Midwest. That's bringing us some much cooler weather into the state. It's taken that storm system that brought a couple of showers and a few rumbles of thunder to the state yesterday. Off to our east, it'll be mainly sunny, a couple of clouds, mainly in the afternoon with a lot of cool air coming in. But highs will be in the 60s, maybe near 70 in some areas, but it'll be mainly in the 60s. And it'll be a very cool night going to high school football games tonight and to the big Iowa State game in Ames on Saturday. Highs on Saturday will be in the 60s to near or lower 70s. Lows this morning or Saturday morning will be in the 40s. Some places maybe even in the upper 30s. Could see the same here on Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon we'll see a warm up, a little bit warmer than on Saturday. Upper 60s to lower and middle 70s across the state as the winds turn around to the south and west and warmer air continues to filter in. Monday will be a bit warmer, a couple degrees warmer, 70s, maybe an 80-degree temperature or so in our southwestern counties especially. GFS wanting to paint a little bit of precipitation here on Monday. That may hold off until later into Tuesday and Wednesday as a storm begins to take shape across the plains and into the Rockies and Intermountain West. That'll be moving in for the middle of next week, but the winds will continue to come out of the south, bringing in the warm weather. By Wednesday, as that system really starts to approach, we could see temperatures well into the 80s in some places. Humidity levels will be increasing once again, so it could feel a bit uncomfortable again as we move toward the middle of the week. That front system moves through Wednesday night and into the first half of Thursday with some showers and maybe a rumble of thunder. Still too early to determine any rainfall amounts or the possibility of severe weather, although that looks really slim at this point. But we'll keep watching it as we move forward. By next Friday, though, you can see the flow is mainly coming zonal, straight out of the Pacific, with a little bit of a disturbance moving across the western Great Lakes. That's with that system. That's actually with the second system that's coming in behind the first system. You can see more showers and storms possible by next Friday into Friday night. We'll see if the timing changes on this so it may or may not affect Friday night football games next Friday. We'll continue to watch it. Going into the extended period around the 22nd of September, we have a trough moving across the Great Lakes and into the north and east. Flow is still out of the north and west, but you can see a ridge is beginning to take shape over the west once again, and that's starting to pump the main storm track well into Canada, and that might even affect our weather, keeping us fairly dry and seasonal at this point. But most of the precipitation and storm systems look to be over Canada, with only a little bit of activity across the Texas and the Gulf Coast area. That ridge begins to move slowly in our direction. It does flatten out a little bit. Troughs over the northeast Pacific and again over the eastern part of the country, especially the Canadian Maritimes and New England. Bit of a ridge. That'll keep us warm toward the end of the month by this point, which should be likely well into the 70s, maybe around 80 or so. But we'll keep watching it to see if this trend continues. We would expect some changes in the next couple of days on this pattern. Satellite image from last evening. You can see showers and thunderstorms across the plain states with this cold front coming through. The cold air, as noted with the word cold, sweeping in, and the warm air pumping up over the west. Fairly calm elsewhere, except for a system moving off the east coast, where there was a lot of rain across New England. Flash flood watch is there. A couple flash flood warnings around the Kansas City area. A remnant severe thunderstorm watch. Frost advisory up in North Dakota and northwest Minnesota. And heat continues over southern California. QPF chart precipitation over the next 5 days. This goes through Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock. Very little, if any, rain around here. It'll be just past this period. A lot of it across the Gulf Coast, New England, and across the Intermountain West.